All right. Hunter x Hunter chapter 411 is here. And I honestly can't believe that I'm making this. This is going to be my first Hunter x Hunter video on the channel. And after a very long hiatus, we are getting right back into it. So I actually just completed my reread of the Succession War arc to make sure that I had all my ducks in order because this is one of the most complex arcs that I have read in shonen. So I wanted to make sure that I had at least as much as I could in order. But if you are new here, this is going to be an exploration. I am not going to be just blitzing through the chapter. I have not read it yet. And I'm just going to try to absorb and pull on every thread that Togashi gives me through this chapter. And, I like to have you guys here to experience it with me. So, because it is Hunter x Hunter, and I already do take my time through these chapters, just get a snack, get a drink, because like I said, I am going to try my best to try to digest everything that is given to us and try to apply some, critical thinking and see if I can connect some dots that Togashi is providing to us. So, without further ado, I'm just going to get right into it. And I am seeing first a color page of the it's like so beautiful and yet so disturbing. And it's Saridnik, fourth Prince Saridnik, and with like this glowing light behind him in a white robe, but he's holding the head of what looks to be what's his name? Pyro, I think his name was Kurapika's friend. And the what we in a lot of the community theorized was that head in the jar behind Saridnik when we saw him with all of the eyeballs of the Kurta clan, that head in that jar looked like Pyro's head. And I think Togashi is basically confirming it here. So, like I said, this is an insane art and it's beautiful and absolutely grotesque all at the same time. And really, Togashi is just like an absolute specialist when it comes to doing that. And then again, I don't even know if you guys can really see it, but I have my Phantom Troop shirt on today. It's actually a Crollo shirt. It says like Crollo on the arms. He's on my back too. Didn't know if you could see it, but I just had to like shout it out because I'm so excited for this. And who knows? Maybe we'll get some Crollo or Phantom Troop. I honestly have no idea where this chapter is going, but we were about to have martial law declared, or the martial law was declared. So I can't wait to get into this. So day 12, 8 a.m. Ministry of Justice. Okay, so it looks like we're actually going back. So we're going back. Ninth Prince Hulkenberg's. Okay, they're talking about the funeral procession. Okay, yep. The other princes will be exempt from the send off in consideration for the succession battle. That makes sense. Not having them all into the same place. The only place that they are all allowed at the same time is the banquets that they have on the Sundays, which who knows? Probably we're not even going to get there. This is a Thursday at this time, and I don't think we're making it to the next banquet. We see Balsamico here, who's actually Hulkenberg talking to Benjamin. I shall return after his personal guards have been disbanded and reassigned below tier 2. Well done. Thank you. Yes, sir. We're seeing the projection of Hulkenberg. Okay, now we're back with Cacho, Nen Beast, Cacho, Melody. Okay, yep. They're talking about Fugetsu, how she's doing. She's sleeping. Basho gave her that like talisman, like little good luck charm talisman that is helping keep those evil spirits away, at least for right now. It's not curing her. They need to their plan to take out ninth or seventh prince Luzerus is like what they're going for because they believe it was his Nen beast that laid a trap for Fugetsu, and that's how she got infected. Okay. And even the Nen Beast here, Nen Beast Kacho, is questioning if she's the one that's making Fugetsu expend energy. So basically running off of her Nen to exist. And Melody's just like, hey, listen to me, never think that way. She Fugetsu needs you. So without you around, she's not going to last anyways. So there's nothing beneficial for thinking that you are hindering her somehow when actually you're keeping her alive. Okay, they're talking about Nine Prince Hulkenberg's funeral and how it's going to be grand and solemn. And it is still insane to me that Hulkenberg had the resolve to just watch his own body die. Like he just he was just completely okay with it. It's like he switched bodies, got into Balsamico, and he had no problem watching his own body pass away just for the sake of his mission. So that's some insane resolve from Hulkenberg. We'll wait and see until the funeral is over and hope it ends smoothly. Okay, yep. And now we are going. Oh, that's okay. That looks like if I'm not mistaken, it looks like maybe the captain of the guards for second Prince Camilla, one of the have-nots, like the people who are going to curse the other princes to death. Okay, we're doing a full crazy makeover. Oh my gosh. That doesn't even look like the same person at all. Oh my, that's some makeover. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. You've gone senile, Granny. This is who I really am. And the other one is my persona as captain. Okay, so yeah. The ninth prince's death has greatly altered the situation. Are you still going with the plan? Yes. Finding the exorcist is necessary, so I want to expose them ASAP. It's better if there aren't any, but if we have to assume there is and search accordingly, we'd need to tailor our response to the type of exorcist we find. Okay, so they're still searching for an exorcist. How many days do you need to accumulate the curse for 14th Prince Wobble? Okay. A whole week if we're in different rooms and I can't see them. If I get lucky, they let their guard down and I can get close enough. I'll kill her on the spot. Oh my gosh. Okay. So she's clearly been tasked with eliminating Wobble. In that case, we have Kako take over for me. Oh, here I go. Okay, so she's going to the Nen teachings workshop that Kurapika is holding in the 14th Prince's room. Because this is like the second round of doing that. So there was an opportunity for the other princes to send in more people. But isn't that okay? So just quick to me, and especially with like how smart Kurapika and Bill are, it's like I feel like it would raise a lot of suspicion from them that second Prince Camilla, she didn't send anybody in the first round. And then in this round of the training, they send a maid, just a random maid. And I guess you could like write it away as she's just spying, just to be aware of what's going on in the room. But I feel like that alone would put them on guard of her and not let her anywhere near Prince Wobble. So that's just, I think it's odd. Like you're sticking out like a sore thumb. They're not. Why would you send a maid to learn Nen? Okay, we got Kurapika and the third prince's guards next to him. Okay, here we go. in Hunter Hunter fashion, we've got a lot of text. So workshop, second round, current participants 18. Okay, so other people have sent maids too. So I guess like it's not completely, completely random or weird, but it is she still looks to be the only person from Camilla's group that was sent, so I feel like you still kind of stick out. So, based on the results of the previous round, a plurality of participants requested we continue with the lessons. Okay. I've decided to increase class size and split into an introductory class and a beginner class. I will have the intro class be able to use Nen within 2 weeks. That's so crazy. That's my guarantee, just like last time. Yep, and he did. He fulfilled that. He fulfilled that guarantee last time with the last group. Okay, and now we have Furikov and Babimina, I think was his name, the two guards that are part of First Prince Benjamin's group. Are you sure you don't? Okay, so they're trying to figure out who should watch over the intro class and who should watch over the beginner class. I promise the beginner class that you will master the basics of one of the 4 exercises per week. Furthermore, in the intro class only, I plan to allow an extra student per prince for the princes whose agendas align with ours. Okay. Please confirm over the phone whether they desire to fill the extra slot. The beginner class will be a month long, but you can drop out at any time, of course. The basics of the 4 exercises. So he's talking obviously about Zetsu, Hatsu, Ren, and Ten. That's an unthinkable pace under normal training, but it's not impossible with a literal kickstart. Yeah. If the succession battle stalemate continues for another month, the beginners will become bona fide Nen users. They will no longer be defenseless cannon fodder. Exactly. Kurapika's whole goal this whole time has to basically been stall. He's just looking to stall out the conflict. He's trying to make this last as long as possible. One, because Wobble is a literal baby and they have like the least amount of guards and support and resources out of any camp in the entire succession war. And he's trying to create a situation too, because he's still trying to get to 4th Prince Saridnik as well. So it's such a complex and crazy situation. But he is true. If this does stalemate long enough, all these people are no longer going to just be novices and they'll be full blown bona fide Nen users, which is very crazy. He's increasing the number of recruits in addition to equalizing military strength. It'll spread out the guards in other princes' quarters and induce the succession battle as a whole toward a more defensive contest. Exactly. Because then each prince and each camp will all have bona fide Nen users. And we know when it comes to Nen combat, it's not really a let's just rush in head first type of combat. If you do that, you're going to pay immensely because Nen abilities just vary to such a massive degree, and you'd potentially be walking into your own death sentence. So the more Nen users there are and more abilities at play, the slower everything has to be taken. The more, you know, high interplay there is. Okay, we got don't people get murdered during the yes, people did get murdered during the previous workshop. We still don't know who silent majority who is operating silent majority. That still hasn't the assassin is still out there. And they're in this room for sure. This guy's like, "Are we going to be safe? Like people were murdered here last time." And uh Bellarante is just like, I don't know, but I don't think they'll go after you. Do let me know right away if you see a girl in a mask. Okay, they're at least on the lookout for it. Now we've got a bunch of the servants that are in the beginners class. Does it feel like your skin has cleared up? My shoulders are less stiff. I know, I still get tired, but I feel more energy. Oh, these are the ones. Yeah, they're in the beginner class now, not the intro. So they have now like unlocked the very, very basics of Nen. So they're getting all of the physical benefits that go along with having aura. Okay. Yep, everybody. If the extra prison, if the extra prison we're bringing in, like a guard, like it must mean Nen is that powerful. Yes. Okay. So they're putting all the pieces together. Seven Prince Loserus desires to watch and wait until the trouble with the mafia has settled down. His grace period is a great opportunity for us. Okay, so he's putting more of his focus into what's happening in the battle that's happening between the mafia. So the Cha'ar and the GU and the Haley. Satobi. He looks like an owl. The guy, he's got like two little pointy parts of his hair. We're with second Queen Dazul now, but no matter which prince becomes king, all of us will face restructuring. Gaining this skill will significantly impact our options. Yeah, they're like, this is actually a huge opportunity in our uh, employment paths, basically. Yep, everyone's kind of like networking and stuff. She's one of the okay. So now they're talking about second Prince Camilla. She's one of the maids, right? She could be a spy. Exactly, right away. Already suspicious of her, which you stick out like a sore thumb. Sarahel, the second prince, is captain of the guards, and she's thinking to herself, 14th Prince Wobble is in the master bedroom. I'm closer than I thought. I might be able to get my hands on something she used, so 5 days may be enough. Okay, she's trying to be able to fulfill the requirements for the curse to be substantially strong enough to be able to actually take out Prince Wobble. Third Prince Personal Guard. Yep, 10 Funtori. More people, along with the joint declaration of surrender with Fifth Prince Tebepa. This is a strategy to induce chaos and defend via obfuscation. Exactly. It's unwise to reduce personnel in room. Okay, so he's talking to the third prince, and yes, it's unwise to reduce the personnel that's guarding him any further. We could always invite Prince Wobble's party to dinner after the workshop is over. True. Zhang Lei is like, well, because this guy's like, well, we can just invite him over for like dinner after the workshop is over. And Zhang Lei's like, well, we don't want like Benjamin thinking that we've become good friends. Yep. I understand. Then leave things to us. Sakata is here. We could get him to take the class. Okay. Yep. So this is just everybody. I mean, this is a lot. They're all kind of thinking through their own plots, their own schemes. And then now we have Mayor, the captain of the guards for Fifth Prince Tebepa here. I may be prepared to use Nen, but I'm still basically powerless against First Prince Benjamin's personal guards. All I can do is keep improving myself and highlight our collaboration with Zhang Lei to Benjamin. Benjamin's personal guards must have notified the appearance of Fifth Prince Tebepa's Nen Beast. This will act as a deterrent for a while. In the meantime, we'll invite Kurapika over for training. I can't be choosy if the prince is in danger. Okay, everyone's got their own schemes. Okay, we got Kurapika thinking here, Hulkenberg is dead. Yeah, apparently, well, his body is definitely dead, but he's still inside Balsamico. The prince whom I hoped to make my stepping stone to connect with Sarai. We never found out the secret to the ability that produced the tremendous rumbling. He didn't die of illness. He must have been assassinated. And right before the trial with Benjamin, it's obvious, but there won't be any proof. Yep. Too many unknowns. You don't have any of the information. Okay, Kurapika's even thinking like he'd rather not do it, but he's considering using the truth of Hulkenberg's death to instigate the general public on board into chaos. He was a deterrent for the higher princes and a symbol of hope for the lower princes. Just having his personal guards in the room produced the right amount of tension mixed with a sense of security. Exactly. He was like a linchpin between the two, the upper and the lower. Now that it's gone, I wanted to stoke the uncertainty felt by the higher ranked princes, even if doing so increases risk. But no other prince would want to send more of their people to room 1014. It's just the amount of thinking that they go through is just honestly, it's insane. Okay. Oh, that guy. Okay, that guy's from Fourth Prince Saradnik, and this new guy is like, I'm Gipper. I'm assigned here to replace Borkson, which Borkson is who just a couple chapters ago, I know it was a long time ago, but she got recruited into the Haley through playing the game with Morena. And this other guy here is like, basically, the only thing to take note of is don't die, because if more of the fourth prince's guards get killed, the prince is going to start blaming him. and uh, okay, here we go, Kurapika. So we'll begin with 9 in the intro class and 9 in the beginner class. Divide into the 2 groups. Okay, we got all these servants. Some of them are like resolving themselves to learn Nen, and then there's this one servant with the glasses who's like, I don't want to do this. Like, I just want to go back to room 1013. Like, I just want to fold some laundry. I don't want to learn superpowers. uh, Gateau, Seventh Prince's guard. Just focus on learning Nen, huh? Yes, avoid going off on your own. Waiting it out is the way for us to safely and surely improve our status. You mean you, not us. The princes keep dying and our target is a freaking baby? How long could this take? What idiot would pass up this chance? It's a path to a sure promotion. Okay, so we got Gato here thinking he's just going to go right for the jugular and just try to take out Prince Wobble to up his status immediately. Those in the intro class, clasp your hands any way you want. Okay, so he's starting to get these people. Oh, we have Slaka here. Can I say something? Oh, here we go. What is this guy going to try to do? He's going to shake up some stuff. I don't know why, but he's one of the third prince's guards, but he's affiliated with Second Queen Duazul. I want to join the intro class. What's he thinking? I don't mind. Affiliated. So your second Prince Camilla's royal guard? No, third Prince Zhang Lei's guard. If I'm going to stand here, I might as well learn something. Zhang Lei, a watchdog for a lower ranked prince, left his post? That's unthinkable. Is he here monitoring to gain something important? If they're going to leave us out of the loop, we should reconsider the treaty. You idiot. Oh, that's the other guy from the third prince. You idiot. You're giving them unnecessary information. Is he trying to destroy the relationship we're trying to build? Oh, because the other prince is like mayor for Tabepa. He's saying, like, if they're just going to make these decisions without consulting us, like, we should reconsider working with them to begin with. He's doing it on purpose. Last time they took advantage of me being hands off and snuck around making backroom deals. If they're keeping this information on Nen that could sway the succession battle all to themselves, I ain't playing along with this. We're all buddies, charade. Yep. So everybody's got their own Like he felt like he was left out last time, so now he's coming to get his get back and just be a thorn in their side. Kurapika's like, good grief. Like, come on. As some of you may have noticed, he's here under special circumstances to find out important information on Nen that could affect the results of the battle for succession. Now is a good time as any to announce for an announcement. I'd like to talk about it right here and now. Okay, so is this my mind goes to is this what he was talking to Queen Oito previously after receiving the letters from Kacho? He said he was going to talk about what was in the contents of the letter in the next class. So here we are, and I think he's about to go into it. Sweet. I'm excited. Wait, hold on. That's not a good idea. You were going to use the information to your advantage. Is that what you mean? I'm afraid it's not that kind of information. Okay, so it's something more general is what I'm assuming. My wording seems to have caused a misunderstanding. I apologize. I'm sorry it was possible to interpret that I said to mean only the prince who had the information would benefit. Wait a minute, how else are we supposed to take it? Allow me to explain. On the ship, we're in the middle of a succession battle to determine the next king of Kaken, an aberrant process where the sole survivor inherits the throne. Yep. Which begs the basic question, why go to such lengths? Great question. I mean, it has something to do with the actual prosperity of Kaken and the relation to like the three sacred treasures that they have that are part of the ritual. And I think that's probably what leads to the prominence and the success of the Kaken Empire. And it's all tied up within like a Nen ritual. That's kind of my guess here. But please explain to me, Kurapika, like why are they going to such lengths? Okay. The cause they're fighting for, needless to say, is for the prosperity of a nation, Kaken, a king to lead more than 1 billion people. The ritual to facilitate this decision has a more than adequate mandate to go to such lengths. Okay, exactly. Nen maximized the results and validated the ritual. That's how it all began. Yes. Let's get some lore on the succession. The use of a Nen ability with its vows and limitations empowered the leadership of the next king. Because they triumphed through such a brutal competition, it virtually guaranteed prosperity for the next generation. Nen is that powerful. Exactly. They're using Nen to ensure the advancement and the prosperity of the Kaken Empire. When I say vow and limitations, this is a key aspect of Nen. When Nen is brought to bear using strict rules to put people at great risk, the power of the effects is multiplied exponentially. Exactly, just like Kurapika's own abilities with Emperor Time and the restrictions around the certain fingers for his chains. We know that it's covenants, it's vows and limitations. The act of sacrificing the lives of kin down to a single successor demonstrates considerable determination and carries the risk of wiping out the entire clan. Exactly. They all die in the process. And that's the level of determination required to demonstrate the intent of going through with the ritual. We've only reached the second phase of this process. Exactly. Yep. Here we go. This is great. This is great. Keep going, Kurapika. Give me more, give me more. There are 4 phases of this ritual, which, powered by Nen, make up the battle for succession. Okay, first of all, did he just like put all of these pieces together himself, or does he have some like insider track information that was in the letters that he received? Because he received like 2 letters. One was from Kacho for Prince Wobble. But then it's like he, I believe, got his own letter as well, specifically. So I'm curious if that had some of this information, or is Kurapika really just that guy and he figured everything out? Dedication and prayer to the gods, making an offering to the gods, a celebration of the spirits of the dead, theocracy, the unity of the state and sacrifice and governance, pray for national prosperity and pledge a vow, sacrifice the lives. Okay, this is it. Pray for national prosperity and pledge a vow, sacrifice the lives of kin as testament to their commitment, gather together the bodies of the princes who died, and form a sacred energy convergence with the massive power generated, administer the affairs of state. That's that room we've seen with all the coffins in it that their dead bodies go into. So someone must have retrieved, because I was actually thinking about how sad it is that Cacho, when she died trying to escape the ship, she was just floating out in the sea on that little escape craft, just dead by herself. So it's, I'm assuming then someone actually went out and retrieved her body because they would need it for this aspect of the ritual where they got to bring all the bodies together to form a sacred energy convergence, which sounds crazy. It's critical that the succession proceed the way it does. Without these risks, the new leadership would lack the necessary power for governance, meaning sufficient men to maintain the spirit beast of a king worthy of leading the people of Kaken. This limitation is the important information that will affect the results of the battle for succession. Okay. It will take two months for the black whale to arrive at the new continent, and 12 days have already passed. We have a month and a half left. Wow, that's crazy. So much has happened in those, first 12 days. And I don't think it's going a full another month and a half, especially at this pace, and especially knowing that in not long from this moment, martial law is going to be declared by Benjamin, and he's going to complete the succession war with the martial law. The ceremony in which the current king will formally announce which prince will succeed him is scheduled right after we disembark. The deadline for resolving the succession battle is the end of the voyage. Determining the successor within that time is non negotiable. If there is no sole survivor by the deadline and the ritual fails to be completed, the Hui Guo Ro. I have such a hard time with that family name. I'm gonna say Hui Hui Guro. Hui Guro is what I'm gonna say. Family will fall from power. Oh yeah, that's the risk though. They're going for the reward of allowing Nen to facilitate the prospering of their kingdom and their next king in the next generation, but that also carries significant risk of it collapsing if the conditions are not met. Fall from power, a change of government. He was going to say dictatorship because even though they've like democratized, it's still a monarchy and it's still a dictatorship, no matter what way you're looking at it. The ability to adapt through the ages and manipulate the masses are enhanced by Nen. Without this, it would be inevitable. Exactly. Wouldn't the risk be greater if failing to meet their deadline resulted in everyone's death instead, with a fall from power and not annihilation? Okay, the fact that it's a sole survivor, that already fulfills the vow of putting your lives on the line. Depriving all choices during the ritual would be enforcement. That's the opposite of a Nen limitation. Exactly. A choice must be left open for them to not carry out the ritual to completion. It's part of the risk that more than one prince is allowed to survive. Leaving this avenue for the weaker participants puts the ritual itself in a vulnerable position. This way, the risk that the ruler may fall to ruin is hidden in the time limit. You're bringing this up. Furykov's like, what? You're basically egging us on to hurry up and kill those lower princes. Exactly. Wait. Oh no. The fact that they do leave a avenue for the weaker participants. Wow. Okay. So the fact that you can survive, it's the time limit. It's not an indefinite thing. So having it under a time limit, then if you can stall long enough, there's not a sole successor, and then that completely collapses the ritual, and Kakin would fall to ruin. Which is why Furykov's like, well, giving us more of a reason to just kill all the lower princes, which we were already going to do anyways. But now you've just made it even more apparent. And one more thing, I have another crucial announcement. What now, Kurapika? 14th Prince Wobble is not eligible for the succession battle. And we see Wobble in their baby crib and Oito sleeping in bed, but looking like complete, like in shock or like despair or almost like disbelief. And that's where the chapter ends. Wow. Okay. So that was a lot. I That was a lot. Of course, it's Hunter x Hunter. Wow, the bombshell at the end there. Okay, I just have to touch on this very quickly because this has already probably been long enough. There's two options here, at least in my brain. Kurapika is lying, sort of lying. He's either lying because he's trying to, again, his whole plan has been to just throw wrenches into this succession battle the whole time. And he's been trying to stall and make ways for them to make it through the succession battle because he also does want to protect Wobble, but he also wants the fourth prince and Kakin. Like he's either lying to just try to continue to throw more wrenches into this situation, or he's telling the truth, which then just makes my head kind of spin because we know there was, we're aware that one of the princes is beyond Netero's child. So is it Wobble? Or we also know that Benjamin has an illegitimate child that he is thinking is going to assume the throne after martial law is declared and he wipes out all the other princes. Is that like wow. Okay. If any of you have any clearer ideas of maybe who is Wobble? Is this, first of all, is this true? And second, if it is true, who is Wobble's actual parent? And does that mean that Wobble can just leave the succession war? But I don't think it does because if they did go through the ceremony, then they are part of this ritual. And if they make it out past the time limit, then Kakin's gonna fall into ruin. So wow. Okay. This was a heavy chapter. I loved the lore on the entire ritual itself and how Kakin has actually prospered through the influence of Nen. I think it's really cool. Also considering that they themselves, at least the majority of them, are not even Nen users, but it's just like this overarching ability of Nen through this extremely complicated ritual full of vows and limitations. So, great chapter to come back to. I am sorry that it was a bit late, but I wanted to make sure that I completed my read through to kind of have at least the best of my abilities, have all of the information that I could. And yeah, so I was super excited to get to this one. And luckily, in just a couple days, the next chapter is already going to be out. We don't know how long we're getting Hunter x Hunter back for, but regardless of how long it is, I am exceptionally excited. And I just want to thank you guys for being here to experience this great chapter with me. And we are back, Hunter x Hunter fans. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.